In this video, I'm going to talk to you about stress and your porn habit and how to alleviate stress in a healthy way that does not lead you down the porn rabbit hole. Let's go. Howdy folks, Ben Uyama here, helping you guys quit porn and masturbation for good so that you can focus on bigger things and achieve more. Stress, anxiety. All right, so we know from studies that stress is one of the biggest contributors to triggering people, you guys, you good folks, into watching porn and masturbating. If you don't believe me, let me ask you this. When was the last time that you had a really strong impulse to go back to porn, masturbate, and relapse? Chances are it was somehow related to some kind of stress in your life. When you're fighting with your spouse or with a significant other or with a family member, or you're just stressed out of your mind because of work or because of school or because something, anything in your life, and then you found that the easiest way for you to deal with stress is to go back to porn. Your brain, essentially, just in a nutshell, has convinced itself and has learned that porn is the fastest way. Not the only way, but it's the fastest way to take you outside of a state of stress and anxiety into an instantly, like I'm talking immediately into a state of temporary relaxation. And let me make that really clear. But, however, the caveat here is that when we talk about stress in porn habit, stress always leads to more stress. And the reason that you are stressed out is actually because of your porn habit. Let me make that really clear. The reason that you're stressed out all the time is not because your life is stressful and the only way to soothe stress is through porn. In fact, the opposite is true. The porn is contributing to the reason and the cause and the root cause of why you're so stressed out in the first place. An analogy I use all the time is if you had a rash on your arm or some kind of like a giant headache, or you woke up one day and you had a giant rash on your face or anything at all, and you went to the doctor and the doctor gave you a prescription cream to put on. You put the cream on and immediately the rash went away. And the very next day, the rash was back, but it was bigger and more itchy and more red. And so you go back to the doctor every day for the same cream or a stronger prescription of the cream, and every day the rash gets bigger and bigger. This is exactly what it's like to have a porn addiction, guys. If you haven't noticed the analogy. The thing, however, the catch here is that the cream itself is causing an allergic reaction, and it's causing you, my friends, to have this allergic reaction and for this rash to get bigger. So this is what stress is doing. And when I explain this to people, that stress is causing you to go back to porn, and in effect, porn is causing you to have more stress in your life, they don't believe me. It's kind of people are kind of skeptical, like, is that true? Like, is this some kind of scare tactic or some kind of shock therapy, shock treatment that you're trying to scare me into quitting porn? No, it's actually true. So let me ask you, in your life, have you become more stressed out over time? Over the time that you've had this porn habit with you? Have you been more stressed out? Have you been more irritable? And when you get rid of porn, let's say you go a whole week or a whole month without porn, or a few days even, do you notice yourself getting more stressed out more quickly and more elevated and more irritable more quickly? And that's what I really want to get into right now. I'm going to explain to you clearly. I'm going to draw a chart for you that explains why porn is actually adding more stress to your life. And when you remove porn and masturbation for your life, you will become less stressed out and you will be able to manage stress in a healthy and productive way instead of a destructive way. So let's get into it. Okay, so person A and person B. So person A represents a happy-go-lucky person, a happy camper that represents a natural state of stress, a natural way of dealing with stress in their life. And this is what their stress cycle looks like. Their stress levels are kind of low at all times, and then they get more stressed out over time because of work situations, family, etc. And that kind of dies down slowly over time. And this is kind of how the cycle goes. They're stressed, they're not stressed, they're stressed, and they manage these peaks of stress in a productive way that I'll get into, but more natural ways like going outside, moving your body, exercising, producing natural forms of dopamine instead of the artificial crap that we're getting ourselves into. Now, so that's the natural state. And you can ask yourself throughout this video, if I were living 50 years ago or 100 years ago, or ask this, if I was in a country and I didn't have access to my phone at all, or computer, or any screens at all, what would I do in those moments of intense stress and anxiety? If you didn't have a phone, chances are you probably wouldn't be able to go back to porn. You wouldn't go to YouTube. Wouldn't go to social media. You wouldn't go back to video games or anything like that. You would have to find a way to alleviate stress in a productive way. So it's a kind of a helpful practice to think, if I didn't have access to my phone right now, what would I do instead of going back to porn? Chances are you'd probably go outside. Chances are you'd probably connect with people. And it's through these actions, guys, of doing these more natural forms of stress relief that you can actually beat porn for good. And in fact, the reason that you have a porn habit in the first place is because of a lack of these things in your life, okay? Let me make that really clear. The reason you have a porn habit is not because porn is just some $100 billion company that is targeting and attacking you. It's because fundamentally, behaviorally, you have conditioned yourself to believe that you need porn, and it's the lack of these daily disciplines of connecting with people, of going out in nature, moving your body, exercising, doing healthy things, stop sitting on your ass all day. It's because of a lack of those things that is contributing to your porn habit. And if you do more of those things, your porn habit will become less of an issue. So let's go to the addict, okay? This guy's unhappy. If you can see, he's angry. He starts here with the stress level. And when you first start watching porn and getting into it, your stress levels look natural. They look kind of like this. And when you're stressed out, this is where people get thrown off, right? Is you have found the first time you watch porn, or maybe the first few times, your stress levels went down like that. Look at that. Steep drop off. And what happens now? The point I'm making is that over time, when your stress comes back, it becomes more steep and steep until the point where it's just zigzagging up and down like this. You're stressed, you're not stressed, you're stressed, you're not stressed. And in an entire day, you could go a few days or an entire day and just watch porn multiple times in one day, even, or 1 week. Is because, my friends, you have fundamentally trained your brain to be more stressed out more quickly and require porn in order to soothe those emotions temporarily. And when you do that over a period of time, your stress levels look like this, where you're feeling really calm after you act out, you masturbate and watch porn, and then the very next day or the very next week, you feel very quickly your stress levels elevate and you become very irritable very fast, and you need porn in order to go back to being regular, right? Here's the thing, guys. You don't need porn. Your brain believes that you need porn because it has trained itself to use this pattern of stress regulation and mood regulation. You have trained your brain to believe that in order to get to a place of not needing porn in my life, I need porn because it brings me down to stress. But what's happening over time is, look at this. Notice how the peaks of stress are becoming more intense over time. And this is what's happening. You're just becoming more in stress. It's just escalating and elevating more and more over time. So the reason I want to share this with you guys is because it's kind of scary, actually, to think about. You don't want to be that irritable, upset, frustrated person at the people around you in your life. You don't want to just rely on a substance to take you from a point of stress to non-stress, but you want to be in a more natural state where stresses in life are natural. Stress is a God-given thing. It's something that kicks us into gear and makes us do stuff with our lives. It's meant for, we have stress for a reason. But the natural forms of stress don't look like this, my friends. Natural forms of stress are more natural and gradual, and we can alleviate those stresses in a few helpful ways. Let me ask you this. This is your action for today. Next time you're triggered, next time you have urges, I want you to write down what is the one thing that you could do to alleviate stress in a productive way. There are 1,000,001 better ways to take you steeply, not gradual, like immediately from stress to not stress. There are 1,000,000 better ways to do it than going back to porn, okay? Connect with somebody, talk with somebody, go out in nature, move your body. Ultimately, that's probably the biggest hack that we can give you, is just move your body, do something, because we've never been so sedentary in our entire lives, but in an entire lifetime or in all of history, we've never been so glued and connected to screens or sitting down at desks throughout all of human history. So in order to reverse that habit, we have to just move our bodies, and that's probably the best thing that you can do. If this little chart thing is blowing your mind or helpful at all, I want you guys to smash the like button. I would appreciate that very much because it helps the video spread around to other people, apparently. Thank you very much. And so your next question might be, what are the actual things that you can do every day to beat porn? Now, I've done this with hundreds of men's over the last 10 years. I've helped them make daily disciplines and habits to actually replace the need for porn and address the root cause. And stress has a lot to do with it. So I'm going to put a video over here that's going to help you actually get more into the details about what to do every day. If you haven't already watched our full training about how to quit porn, it's totally free. You can check it out at benuyama.com. And also, if you guys want to fast track your porn recovery, join our group mentoring, our group accountability. It's the fastest way that I can help you guys beat porn and masturbation for good. Go to benuyama.com if you want to learn about, if you want to join that. It's good to have you guys. I love you all. Take care.